Great, so I'm going to call this MAC meeting to order. Is roll call good? All right, are there any declarations of pecuniary interest? No. Seeing none, great. So I'm just going to move through the agenda. So we're going to do the approval of last meeting's minutes, which were February 1st, 2023. Can I get someone to make a motion? And seconder. All right, and all in favor? Carried. Perfect. Are there any presentations, delegations, petitions, communications that anyone wishes to bring forward?
Don't see any.
Great. All right, so on to new business. So this one, we're going to do the committee appointments first. So we do actually have somebody that we would like to appoint. Unfortunately, Ala, she was going to be here tonight. She sent me an email about 2 hours ago. She's under the weather, so she sends her apologies. She'll be here hopefully at the next meeting. But we would like to make a motion, if someone can make a motion to appoint her to this committee. Correct. Thank you.
I'll second.
Second, great. All in favor? Wonderful. Okay. So yeah, we've got our fifth one. That's exciting. All right, so we are going to do the appointment of the chair and the vice chair. I'll just kind of run us through how that works. And then once we've appointed those, I will pass the reins over to the chair. So basically we're looking for nominations from the floor. You guys can also put your name out and just say, I would like to be nominated, and somebody can nominate you. And we'll then have somebody nominate, and we'll have a seconder. If that person would like to leave their name in, then we'll have potentially like another person if they want to be nominated. If there's no second, then that person will be acclaimed as the chair, and then we'll do it again for the vice chair. Does that make sense? Great. All right, so I would like to open the floor to nominations. Remember, you can put forward yourself.
For chair?
For chair, sorry, yes.
In absentia? That's okay. I can chair.
You'll be chair? Thank you.
Sure.
Do I have a seconder?
Sure.
Or sorry, I guess somebody has to nominate you first.
I'll
So
nominate Pam.
perfect for the seconder.
There you go.
All right, and no further nominations? All right, so Donna, okay, you'll be chair by Craig. You'll be acclaimed.
I know there's a thing to this trick. This you sit like this.
Yeah. Well, we're going to do this again, and we're going to do vice chair this time. I'd also like to just mention Ashley, who she did let me know she couldn't be here today. I asked if she wanted to put her name forward. She said if nobody else does, she's happy to be nominated, and we can appoint her even though she's not here. So if nobody really wants to be vice chair.
So what's the vice chair do?
Vice chair essentially does, if our chair cannot attend that meeting, vice chair will then take the place of the chair. So if the chair is there, the vice chair doesn't have to do.
I have lots of experience.
My computer is speaking.
I nominate you.
Sorry, my computer is talking.
Your computer's what?
Talking to me. Is it sorry?
Well, that's not good.
Echoing what she said.
Pardon me?
Echoing what she just said.
Cool. It's because I have the Zoom link up on mine because I'm going to share the screen, so it's playing feedback through mine. Apologies.
Turn your microphone off on your computer.
It's not on. It's just the audio. It's double feed. But we're good. Yeah. Awesome. All right. So I would like to open the floor for nominations for a vice chair.
We did that.
You nominated
Did you
him.
nominate? Okay. And then are you
Sure.
nominating?
I'll second.
Second. Perfect. Then by acclaim, you are vice chair. Wonderful. All right. So I'm
Sorry, who was vice chair?
vice chair Marty.
Marty?
Thank you. All right. So Donna, I will pass things over to you then.
Oh, wow, I start right away.
Do you need a cheat sheet?
No, it's okay. I have everything.
Jim just left at home.
No, I have it.
Okay.
All right.
So first up, next section is reports, and we have the April 2023 Courier's report, and that's going to be presented by.
All right. So you all have it in front of you then here? I'll just kind of do the highlights through it since you all have it in front of you. Our exhibits, we sent away our traveling exhibit Space to Spoon. It closed on March 18th, just after March break. We had a total of 5,760 people that visited, which was really fun. And over March break, we had a lot of kids through. We had some March break like giveaways. We had a scavenger hunt, which was really popular. And that was actually really fun to watch the kids run through it. Right now we have the Strathroy Art Group exhibiting their art show. If you haven't had a chance, come and see it. It's really great. And it'll be up for the rest of the month, and then we'll be switching over to our big exhibit, Summer Fun. Crystal and I are really excited about this one. We'll have our opening on May 17th. I encourage all of you to come to it. Hopefully it'll be our big blockbuster one for the year, so again, great to see you guys out there and showing your support. So May 17th in the evening is that.
That's a Wednesday, right?
That's a Wednesday. It's the Wednesday right before the long weekend, to kick off summer is essentially what we're
When you do the things on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I'm just,
busy.
timing wise, well, no, I work, right? So
Oh, okay.
I do work from home, but I do work. So when it's on a Wednesday,
There you go.
if it's the right Wednesday, I can usually call my wife out with me
Oh, nice.
if she's not working. Yeah.
There you go.
Michelle, what time will it be?
Did we say 5:30?
Yeah, 5:30.
5:30. We hadn't officially
Okay.
set a time yet, because we were debating whether or not we wanted it to be catered or not. So, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, good question. I'm going to actually just skip over the collections management. We did have our collection subcommittee meeting, and so Crystal does have that report, so we'll talk a little bit more about it there. She also does have her collections database meeting in a couple of weeks with the Past Perfect, so I'll let you talk a little bit more about that during your report. Volunteer hours, I also just want to highlight, so we did have our new co-op student, Ethan, start with us. He started just after our last meeting, first week of March. He's been doing really well. He's really enjoying it. He's really gung-ho about kind of anything we throw at him, which is really nice to see. And so he'll be doing his big end-of-year projects, hopefully starting next week. And then something else I just wanted to highlight, we had our SCCS school did their wax museum night. I don't know if anybody came to it. It was a very hectic night, so I'm sorry if I missed you. We had over 250 visitors through the museum for it. It was, like I said, hectic, but a lot of fun. The kids did a really great job. And then the only other thing I wanted to highlight was we will be starting our summer walking tours at the end of May. We'll start with our downtown Strathroy, and then we'll be rotating through the downtown Strathroy, downtown Mount Bridges, and then the Strathroy Cemetery. We are talking about adding a new one this summer, hopefully. So you'll have to stay tuned for that one. Depends on which theme we decide to go with. And the other event I want to highlight, we are having a moccasins making workshop. That is on the Saturday of the Father's Day weekend. We already have about 6 or 7 participants signed up. There's 15 spots, and every time we've run this one, it's with Mitchell, who is an artist from Chippewa of the Thames First Nation. He runs a great workshop. It's a lot of fun. So, were there any questions about the report? Anything else in there you wanted me to talk about more? Mm-hmm.
Just wondering what sort of things you have planned for this Strathroy market.
For the market? Yeah, so what we try to do, I did put in that we are going downtown Strathroy Market, the 27th, yeah. So we try to do at least once a month, if not twice a month, between myself and Crystal, and if we can also get a volunteer to come with us. So we set up a booth. We'll typically try and sell our museum at home kits. We've got some fun postcards, but it's just more about getting in the community, talking to people, letting them know what we have going on. Sometimes, depending on the weather, we'll bring out some artifacts that we can handle outside, because obviously, due to weather, we don't want to damage anything. Most of them are education pieces, so they're okay to handle too. So just fun little things like that at our booth.
Do we need a motion to accept the report?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. Can I get a motion to accept the curator's report?
Moved.
Second.
Dave and Marty. Thank you. Next report is collections subcommittee report. This one's with Crystal.
Yes. So like Michelle said, we did have our collections subcommittee meeting on March 21st, and two attended. So Dave and Melanie attended, which was great. So we were able to do a tour of the back building that night as well. A number of pieces were accepted into the collection, and I can just highlight a few of the pieces. You do have the report in front of you there. So a few SDCI commencement documents were accepted, which was quite nice because they are from the 50s. Back then they kind of did it in-house, kind of yearbooky situation, so they don't really last that long because they are just kind of pieces of paper. So that's great to see that they survived this long. And then a few photographs from the area from the 1970s. So these are kind of like economic development photographs that, again, aren't very common because people don't take pictures of a factory on a side street very often. So that was good to see. So we'll be scanning those to be used most likely in our exhibits. And then there are a few pieces, there's always usually a few pieces that we do have to review, just if we don't get enough information before the meeting. So we are reviewing a signature quilt and a few souvenir plates before the next meeting. Yeah.
Any questions for Crystal? Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the collections and research report? Marty? Second.
Sure. Does everybody have to do it at the end or two? All in agreement?
Yeah.
Because we didn't do it with the first one.
Oh, didn't I?
No.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Melanie, second. Everyone in favor? All in favor? Great.
There's only 3 of us, so if 2 of us are moving it.
I know.
Pretty much it.
The next report is the public art exhibition policy.
So this one we actually saw at our last MAC meeting. We did take it to council just to get it pushed through in time for this current art show that's on now. And we did have a question raised on discounts for students, because we do have in the policy that we're discounting for our local high school classes, because and elementary school. We had already that relationship set up. So I went to about 15 other institutions, called around, asked about already our price, and then if they think we should have applied a student discount. Very unanimously, I had everyone say that our price was already extremely reasonable, and that only institutions that already have an affiliation with a school typically does a student discount. For example, TAP in London, they're affiliated with both Fanshawe and Western, so they already have that relationship and discount for their students. So we have put in the report just a little bit of that information, and we just said that we would not be applying a further discount other than the one that is already there for the classes of the local schools.
Any other questions about the policy? Okay, can I get a motioner to accept the public art exhibition?
Let her do it this time. Then one of us can
Policy?
second see.
Put his hand up, I'll second it.
All right.
Or the room.
Dave and Melanie.
Take turns.
All in favor? Accessibility plan.
So this is a new document for us. Every year we apply for CMOG, it's a grant, and they task us with reviewing certain policies. This year was to actually create this new one. So this is the accessibility plan that we've created based off of the accessibility guidelines of the municipality, as well as the physical plant policy and the community policy, which is the other 2 policies we'll review later. Just put them all together since they're all kind of related. We can go through it. If anybody has any questions, I can share the screen. I don't know if anybody had any questions or if we'd like to accept us as is.
Is there any, I'm just asking this because I get this all the time from every organization I belong to, so I've got more training than I need. Accessibility training?
Sorry. Yeah, so we do go over the policy, I'm just trying to think of a
We had to do
specific,
that
like-
document when we
Yeah.
first came, so we said we.
Yeah, and we have like municipal
through it.
training on accessibility that we have to review, usually on a yearly basis that we have to do that, yeah.
Yeah. The reason I asked, I work from home and I have nobody else I work with, but I still have to do accessibility training for Marriott, and I have to do it for the board that I sit on at the sills. So when it comes down to it, I just do it one spot and it covers right across. I do have ADA training, okay, just so everybody knows.
Sure. No, I knew we did, I just couldn't remember how
Have
many
you
times.
ever had any concerns or complaints from the public or around accessibility to?
I personally haven't at the museum.
No, I don't believe we really have. We always try to make, whenever we do exhibits, obviously space is a very big concern when we do exhibits, so we always make sure space is available for wheelchairs. And then also text panels that we always do for size, for visual people, and we always have other options available. So if people do need something printed in larger formats, we can provide that.
The other reason I ask is as we move forward over the next few years with Ontario's Accessibility Act coming into place, there's a lot of agencies that you more than likely get funding from will ask if your staff has had accessibility training. And there are numerous places you can go and get it, and they're just a quick test. It takes you about an hour to go through all the work and stuff, so make sure that we should incorporate that somehow in our plan, that we make sure that there's at least a couple of people. It's not so much if anything comes up, it's the fact that Ontario's moving that way, wants that done, and some agencies have started to push already that they want people that understand the acts and stuff like that, so.
I see here in the policy that under training you have, all staff who interact with the public in any way will have access to the Accessibility for Ontario's Disability Act for customer service training.
Yeah.
That's provided by the municipality. But I wonder if we don't want to include volunteers.
Sorry, you don't want to?
No,
include-
if we should.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
If we should maybe add
It's
staff.
it's at the top?
No, number 4, training.
Yeah, staff and volunteers are trained in accordance with,
Procedures laid out. And then it says, in addition, all staff who interact in the public will have access to the training.
oh, okay.
So,
Yeah, I can add that in.
yeah, I think it would be helpful if volunteers
Yep.
have that training too, just to make sure we are.
It's one of, the trainings that I'm talking about, like, the organizations find them, you can do it at home, so the volunteers will have, like, it's
Yeah.
not like we all have to come in for a class or
No,
anything.
no, the municipality has it in a module
Yeah.
they can email to
Yep.
everybody. Yeah.
But it's always nice to have,
Yeah.
because it crosses a lot of various other organizations all have it, and you get it one place, you pretty much cover it everywhere else, because it's the same modules.
Okay, so if you can just add volunteers to that, perfect. Any other comments?
Get it.
Got it.
Yeah, about 5 years ago, maybe a little longer than that now since I've been out, the BIA had to go through that process, AODA. The municipality insisted that all the board members have that training, so I'm assuming, which is dangerous, that anybody that, from that experience, still has that training.
They'll ask you to renew it, that's all. Well, look, that's where I
I would
got my
have to
first
look
one.
into whether I had to do the training as a counselor, so I don't know, were you guys asked to do any of those HR training as volunteers? Brianna, would they have been required to do that? No, okay. Okay, then I assume we don't really need it at this point, but it's important that customer service at the museum, anybody who's interacting with the public have it, so, okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, then can I get a motion to approve the accessibility plan?
Your turn.
I'll move.
First by
I'll
David,
second.
second by Marty. All in favor? Okay. Next up, physical plant policy.
All right. again, I can get this up on the screen if anybody wishes me to do that, or if you have it in front of you, great. So this is just, so this one, the physical, and the next one, like I said, go hand in hand with the accessibility plan you guys just looked at. And so we thought it would be a good chance to review these as well. There is, for the physical plant, a couple notes that I put that it's going to change. Just the 2.2, customer service accessibility standards policy. The name is just slightly changed. It's just policy and procedures for accessibility standards for customer service is now the new name, so that'll just change. And the municipal health and safety bylaw, is that the name of it still? Do you know actually?
I don't believe so.
I don't believe so either because I couldn't find it. So.
Okay.
So that we can just maybe take out. Yeah. And then another change, that 2.5, at the time this policy was written, we didn't have a supervisor of property services, which we do now, and he maintains a lot of these things set out in 2.5, so we just wanted to add a line in saying that all above items are done in consultation with the supervisor of property services. Yeah. Yeah. And then the only other slight change of wording that I had put in 2.5, the second bullet point, set priorities and schedules for our ongoing repairs and capital upgrades as budget allows, is the only additional wording that I put in. Did anybody have anything else as they were reviewing? I can change it.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the physical plant policy? Marty? Second? Melanie? All in favor? Pat. Thank you. One more. Community policy.
All right. And with this one, again, my only change was a wording. Oh, so in number 2, partnerships, A, community and cultural services department is now shortened to community services. So we'll just change that name. And then down in number 4, under volunteers, in the larger paragraph after A to G, it just says Community Collections Committee. It's no longer called Community Collections Committee, it's just called Collections Committee. So we just wanted to take out the word community.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Seeing none, can I get a motion to approve? Sure. The community policy. Melanie, seconded. Dave, all in favor? Carried. Okay, that's enough policy work for tonight. Inquiries or comments by members? Is there anything anyone would like to comment on or questions? I have one or two. The strategic plan. So the strategic plan is current, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So will we be at any point, were you presenting that at any point for us to look at in terms of direction, et cetera?
So we did create the strategic plan. It was put in there that we will review it annually to make sure that we are upkeeping with it. Because it was done at the end of last year, I can't remember exactly who said it, but we just said that we'll do it at the end of each year, just so it has the full year to go in place. So it'll be towards, I think November will be our meeting.
Okay. And we have all had access to that plan?
It's on the website.
It's on the website, okay. So if
Yeah, it's
anybody wants
public
to.
access.
Okay,
I
great.
can send it to you.
No, I have seen it, but I just wondered if everybody else
Yeah,
has.
I got a copy of it off the website.
Okay, perfect. And then the other question I had was about, it kind of fits into the strategic plan, but when we're getting the numbers of attendance, it doesn't mean much to me if it doesn't have context. So I don't know whether 10 people a day is a good number or a really low number.
So what would be helpful for me is if you had some sort of, like, if you could make some sort of pie chart or graph, right? Which shows, you know, this is like our average and this is what this exhibition did, or this is where we were last summer and this is where we are this summer. Because, yeah, I don't know what we're comparing it to, so I don't know whether it's good, bad, low, or high. And then, you know, it would help evaluate how well an exhibit did if we could compare it to other similar exhibits or length of time. So I don't know whether you do that internally already and could just share it with us, or if that's something that you could easily put together. I wouldn't want it to be too burdensome, but.
Yeah, no, we do collect our stats. Oh, went off. I had it on too long. We do collect our stats every month, and we actually also do compare the door stats to the building, which is the full envelope of the building, so that's the library and the museum, to just the museum. So prior to COVID, we were getting approximately 20 to 25% of the whole building people coming into our space. We haven't done it since COVID just because of our systems, but we are trying to get back on track to do that. But yeah, we do collect our stats every month, and we can compare month to month, year to year, exhibit to exhibit.
Great, so if we could just have that with the monthly reports, I think that would really be helpful.
Who actually collects, who comes through the door into that area? Who notes that? Like, how is that picked up?
We have a tracking system that's set up at the entrance and I guess both entrances, both exits, in and out of the gallery space, which then we monitor, and we typically take those numbers at the end of the exhibit. We try to, especially if we're gonna have a big event, we try to also look at it before and after the event to see if we can keep track of how many people are coming in.
Have they ever like set up any kind of surveys, like for people to fill in about the events, like whether it's on computer or?
We have had surveys in the past. We had the what was that box that was out there for a while?
The comment box?
Comment box.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's that word. Yeah, we did have a comment box for a little bit. So yes, we do have that as well. And also if we are interacting with visitors, and especially if we have significant conversations, Crystal and I will also take notes on those, and then we include those conversations sometimes in our end of year report, which you guys see.
Just on that note, it might be helpful to do a survey to schools, like to the teachers, if they bring their class. Something very short, but whether they, you know, it met their expectations, whether they thought it was good value, you know, any feedback.
Yeah, so when we did have school tours, and again, unfortunately this is before COVID, we did have a post tour package that the schools would get, and there would be a small little questionnaire. We haven't really had any, unfortunately, any programs or students coming, but we hope to rectify that in the next term.
Okay, excellent. Any other comments, questions? Okay, seeing none. Then we'll move on to schedule of meetings. So right now we are meeting, did we not have a schedule set out at the beginning?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Third Tuesday of every other month, right?
So next one would then be June 20th, and tentatively we have a collections meeting scheduled for May 16th. Right now we don't have many donations, so we'll be in communications. If there's only 2 items, it might not be worth it to meet, and we'll do it at the next scheduled meeting.
Okay then. So the next scheduled meeting of the MAC will be on June the 20th at 6:30 here in Council Chambers. Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Sure.
Melanie? The second, Dave, all in favor? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.